Hey everybody, tonight we're debating whether or not the moon landing was a hoax, and we are starting right now with Dr. R's opening statement. Thanks so much for being with us. Dr. R, the floor is all yours. Oh, we can't hear you though, Dr. R.
Okay, can you
Ready?
hear me now?
Yes, ready.
All right. So I'm starting with a few disclaimers that in the past, I need to retract a few of the things I said, okay? First one was in a previous debate with MCToon, I had mentioned that the photographs of the Earth had a different cloud pattern, but I hadn't seen the right timestamps. So that cloud pattern could be explained by the timestamp difference. So that's my first retraction. And the second retraction is something I said in a much earlier debate. The first debate, there was some guy with the checkerboard fingernail paint. I forgot his name. But in that debate, I had said the official story was that the NASA astronauts couldn't take off their gloves and put them back on while they still had their gloves on. But I was wrong. The official story is that they could put their gloves on. So I'm not going to debate that point. It is a little questionable because there's a video of them putting the gloves on and off on Earth, and the guy needs help. But I'm not going to debate that right now. I'll just retract that point. And the other point I need to retract is on another previous debate with MCToon and the other guy, I had mentioned this Surveyor 3 band, and I said there was like two bands were left and right, and actually they were up, down. And so I have to retract that point as well, because I found later the photograph where you can see the two bands, the shadow from the two bands, and they are up, down. So that's the third point I wanted to retract. And then finally, the last point, also I wanted to, this was a previous debate with MCToon, and I had a giant lens, a giant Fresnel lens that I was using to create shadows on these little Lego astronauts. So I'm not retracting that theory, I just need to modify it a bit. So this is my 4 retractions before we begin. And let's see, where to begin? I think, do you want me to begin presenting evidence of moon landing now, or do you want to just make MCToon have anything to say?
It's no, it's his turn to make his case.
Okay, great. So I'll start presenting my first piece of evidence here. Let me do a share screen then.
Okay, ready for you. Folks, if you haven't heard, DebateCon 6 is this weekend. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be amazing. And if you can't make it out to Nashville, which I'm there right in Nashville right now, it's amazing. But if you can't make it, if you're like, man, my arms and my legs both fell off at the same time, I can't travel, check out our channel memberships. If you join the Final Word membership, you can watch the entire conference, all 7 stage debates, with that membership. So check out that membership at the join button, and we're going to switch it over to Dr. R right now.
All right, you see my share screen, right? Great. So this is the Surveyor 3 craft as it was sitting on the moon taking photos of its footprint, his footpad, right? So I want to explain this series of photographs. In the first photograph on the left, the scooper has scooped up 1 scoopful of dirt and dropped it onto the footpad. So that's photograph number 1 on the left. Photograph number 2 in the middle the scooper has scooped up many different scoops and dropped them all on the footpad. So you can see the footpad in photograph number 2 is nearly halfway covered with dirt. Now, photograph number 3 on the right, what has happened is the scooper has taken the tip edge, come back down to the footpad, and pushed away some of the dirt. You can see there's a white spot in the top, on the top of the footpad where the scooper had scraped off some of the dirt. All right, so this is the real Surveyor 3 craft, which is still sitting on the moon today. And this is the way it should look today, because this was the final movement of the scooper and the final photographs sent to Earth. Now, I'm showing the reference. This is the document where these images came from. Surveyor 3 Mission Report, Part 3, Television Data. All right, let's look at these images. All right, so here you can see the footprint, and here you can see the clop of dirt and where the scooper has pushed away some of that dirt. So you can see a very clear white spot here where the scooper pushed away some of that dirt. Next image, the same thing, but it's a little bit higher up, but you can see the you can see where the scooper has pushed away some of this dirt, right? Okay. Next image, same thing. This is one of the final images of the scooper, the footpad, and where the scooper has pushed away some of the dirt. Yes, I think you all can see that. And final image. There's 4 images of the final resting place of Surveyor 3. There's 4 images of the final resting place of the final footpad after the scooper has pushed away some of those dirt that had been dropped on the top of the footpad. Now we come to Apollo 12. Oh my goodness. So on Apollo 12, it's not the same. Sorry, it's not the same dirt. They tried their best to kind of imitate the dirt which had been dropped on the footpad and then scooped off, but you can clearly see it's totally different set of dirt there on the footpad. Okay, and like for example, even here, this is a different point, but the footprints here, the craft supposedly bounced, and it bounced once, and then bounced twice, and then bounced a third time. This is also impossible, but we're not going to go into that point today. Let's just keep looking at the dirt on the footpad. I'm zooming in on this dirt. It's totally different from the actual Surveyor 3 craft. You can see the dirt is still there in the middle of the thing. Okay, let's keep looking more. So there it is. Now the astronaut put his boot to hide the footprints. You know, he put his boot down to kick up dirt and hide the craft's landing footprints. But you can still see, you know, I'm zooming in on this dirt here on the footpad. Next picture, same thing. Now, in the next picture, he goes to the other side of the craft. Now, when he gets to the other side of the craft, he purposely leaves the camera out of focus because he knows that the dirt on the footpad is not the same. So you can see the camera is purposely left out of focus here. Not only is the dirt on the footpad not the same, but these scoop marks. They tried to emulate the scoop marks from the real Surveyor 3 craft, but if you actually analyze the real scoop marks, you'll see these are different scoop marks, but we're not going to go into that point. Now we're just focusing just on the footpad. So you can see, even though it's out of focus, you can see the clumps of dirt here do not match at all. It doesn't match the Surveyor 3 craft. So let's look at a couple more. Here's again, you can see the dirt there's dirt on both sides, and there's no white spot in the middle like on the real Surveyor 3. Next one. Same thing. Oh, this is the best one, really. You can see it's totally different dirt. All right, last one. I think this is the last one. Yep. You can see the dirt is different. All right, so this is my final image. The top two images is the real Surveyor 3 craft. I zoomed in here on the dirt. You can see where the Surveyor 3 dumped the dirt and then it scooped away some of that, and it's white here where it's pushed away. And again, this is zoomed in. The scooper pushed away some of that dirt, and you come back down here to the Apollo crafts. It's totally different. It's totally different. So I'm going to leave this up, and we'll let MCToon reply to that one.
Thank you very much. We are going to kick it over to MCToon indeed. I'm going to take you out of that share screen mode. But folks, want to let you know, as I said, DebateCon 6, our huge debate conference, is this weekend, Nashville, Tennessee. If you can't make it, check out the Final Word membership level, as the debates will be streamed for our Final Word members. You don't want to miss it. But if you're like, hey, I can't do the Final Word membership either, they will eventually be uploaded to the Modern Day Debate channel. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't. With that, we're going to kick it over to MCToon. Thanks for being with us. The floor is all yours for your opening statement.
All right. Thank you very much. Glad to be here. James, next time at DebateCon, you got to get me there. I'd love to come and debate something. I know you don't do science stuff, but figure something out. Anyway, I'm going to share just a second here. I'm going to share my screen.
MCToon, if you ever go back to Antarctica, please invite me.
You were invited last time.
I was like, all right. Well, anyway, well, if you haven't yet, hit that like button, folks. We do appreciate your support. And also, though, our guests are linked in the description. I want to say we appreciate our guests. They're the lifeblood of the channel. And we're going to kick it over to MCToon for his opening statement now as well.
All right. I have two things. This one I've presented before, but I like to present it again because there is not been any evidence-based answer presented to it. So the hammer and feather from Apollo 15, astronaut David Scott dropped a hammer and feather at the same time. And if they were on Earth, the feather would fall slower because of air resistance. But on the moon, it would fall at the same rate. And then also they would both fall on Earth at the same rate as Earth gravity. And on the moon, they should fall at the same rate as moon gravity. And we can test both of those things. We've got a video right here. It's a really short video of it falling here. And I know, James, you don't want me to play the audio. This is from NASA, so it is in the public domain. But they dropped the hammer and feather, and this was broadcast live. Right there it is. And they both went, oops, didn't mean to.
Unlock more with
So anyway, broadcast live to TV. And so they did fall at the same rate. So they had to be in a low pressure environment. So could it be a vacuum chamber on Earth? Well, if it were in a vacuum chamber on Earth, then we could test for that by looking at how fast it accelerates on the Earth. But let's just measure it, right? So the frame rate of the video is 29.97, about 30 frames per second. How many frames did it take to fall? And we can count that. There we go. This is my own video. I edited here and I counted the frames by hand as it falls. And after we do this, knowing the frame rate, we can apply kinematic equations to determine how much acceleration it was experiencing. So there you go, 36 frames. And that's 1.2 seconds. And the height of the drop was, let me go back. The height of the drop was about 4 feet. So here's kinematic equations. We can use number 3 because we have the displacement, the time, and the initial velocity of 0. We can substitute that in, that V sub 0 times t plus 1/2 at squared gives us x. And we want to solve for acceleration. I'm doing this quickly here. But you see on the bottom left there, acceleration equals 2x over t squared. Plug in those variables, that gives us 1.69 meters per second squared. I missed the squared in this slide here. The acceleration of the surface of the Earth is 9.8 meters per second squared. And what is the expected acceleration on the surface of the moon? Well, it is 1.63 meters per second squared. So this confirms that it is falling in moon gravity, and it confirms that it is in a vacuum chamber. So sweet. We've confirmed that. This was live broadcast on TV. And could it have been something else? Well, let's see here. Conclusion, the hammer and feather demonstration must have taken place in a vacuum and at a rate of downward acceleration of the moon's magnitude. There you go. But could they have been in a vacuum chamber and recorded normally, then slowed down to make the drop time match moon gravity? You know, like on the surface of the Earth somewhere and then in a gigantic vacuum chamber. Well, there wouldn't be enough frames in the final video. But what if they recorded at a faster rate and then slowed it down? You know, changed it. What FPS rate, frames per second, would they need? I do a little math here. On Earth, the fall should take 0.49. Say it was sped up. This is what the actual recording was according to them, and what it looked like when they actually recorded it. So here we go. The audio, I'm going to look at the audio because you hear how fast it is. Look, watch how they move around and bounce, how fast this is the claim that this was how it looked when they actually recorded it in real time. So watch them bounce around way too fast. Boingy, boingy, boingy. Not how people move in reality. So it could not have been sped up in real bulky suits and stuff like that on the surface of the Earth. So falsified that hypothesis. So, all right, that's one. Second one here is hold on. The audio. And now I know, Rasa, you have mentioned this back in 2019. Rasa mentioned this. So let's see if you've done your work since then. So Apollo landed on the moon, and in 1969, some people recorded it live as the actual broadcasts were sent from the moon. Particularly Larry Basinger in Kentucky did this. There's the antenna that he built. He bought a World War II era radio and custom built that antenna, and he put it on a motorized alt-az mount and recorded the audio from the moon. They pointed that antenna at the moon and heard the astronauts before it was broadcast on TV. This is very important. Few seconds, it was about 5 seconds before the TV played it, they heard it. And that's because when it was transmitted from the moon, Basinger received it immediately as soon as it got to the Earth. And when it was recorded by the large dish receivers at different places on the surface of the Earth, it had to be transmitted back to NASA, I think in Houston, and then that was sent to the TV stations, which was then broadcast out to TV. So there is that delay because of those multiple hops. But Basinger didn't have that delay. And here's an article from Louisville back in 1969 about that. All of my sources for this are on mctoon.net/moon. If you would like to go there, everything I'm sourcing is from there. Anyway, would you like to hear the actual recording? Here it is. It is pretty staticky. I'm going to play a different recording after this. I won't play much of this because of the static. It's difficult to hear, probably over Zoom. If I have a link to the original you can play on your own. You can hear it pretty well yourself. If anybody would like to, Max did a little bit, but if anybody really has some skills in cleaning stuff up, you can download it right from my website there. This is the actual
When I kicked my foot, I burial with
It's pretty difficult to hear. So I won't play much more. You can hear, and you can actually line it up with the recordings from 11. This was during the moonwalk. So anyway, go to my website, or you can find it elsewhere online to actually listen to the full length, and you can hear all the talking. I got a better one coming though. So could it have been faked though? Could NASA, not knowing that Basinger was going to be recording it, somehow say, well, you know what? We're going to somehow transmit it to Kentucky, just in case somebody's in Kentucky, because everywhere on the surface of the Earth has a different angle to the moon. So how could they do that? Well, when they were not pointing the antenna at the moon, they didn't get the signal. And when the moon set, they didn't get the signal. But they did get 35 minutes of recording while they were pointing it at the moon. There is no orbital satellite. There is no way that you can put something in orbit around the Earth to transmit from between a particular viewer and the moon for that amount of time. There's no position, there's no satellite. If it was a geosynchronous satellite, it would not be in that position. It would be, you'd need to point your antenna to the south. This was to the south. If it was in an orbit like a lower Earth orbit like that, well, they orbit the Earth in a much shorter amount of time, so they couldn't be stationary. So, and it couldn't have been ionosphere bouncing because it was in the gigahertz range, and ionosphere doesn't work below or above about 40 megahertz. So it could not have been locally faked. Then the Bochum Observatory in West Germany also recorded it. And this, they recorded the landing. And they have a 20-meter dish, a significantly better ability to play and record. So I'll get that up here in just a second. It's coming. Just a second. All right, I got it queued up. So now the Bochum Observatory did have line of sight to the moon during the time of the landing. And this is what the moon saw at that time. And you can see there on the upper edge, Germany is in line of sight. And shortly after they landed, they did not get a signal anymore. So how could NASA have faked it? They would have had to put a craft somewhere between the Earth, Germany, West Germany, and the moon, and have it not orbit the Earth, just somehow magically stay there. How would that be done? You'd need to produce evidence for that. So this is important though. This is pretty cool. I don't know if the stereo will come through, but this particular recording has been synced up so that the left channel has the recording from Honeysuckle, which was where it was received, and then sent to Goldstone, and it contains Charlie Duke's voice on there. But the right channel is what was heard at recorded at Bochum Observatory. It does not have the voices from and the different noise from NASA. You don't hear anybody at Capcom. So I'll play that now here.
40. 30 feet down, 2.5. Pick up some dust. 3 feet, 2.5 down. Face shadow. 4 forward. 4 forward, drift into the right a little. 6.5. 30 seconds. Forward, just.
You heard 30 seconds. That was Charlie Duke saying 30 seconds, but that was only in the left ear. I don't know if it's coming through Zoom or not. Okay, good.
Contact light. Okay, engine stop. APA at a descent. Mode control both auto, descent engine command override off. Engine arm off. 413 is in. We copy you down, Eagle. Listen, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
And there you go. You hear Charlie Duke Only in the left ear. If that came through to you all the way through Zoom and through YouTube, just in your left ear, let me know. That would be very cool if it did come through. Anyway, so once again, we have a recording, an independent recording, not from NASA. They confirmed it. It wasn't something that NASA could have faked, because there's no way that you can place a satellite between there and the moon to do all that. Similarly, it's in the gigahertz range. It couldn't have been in the ionosphere. NASA didn't know that West Germany was going to be recording it, so they wouldn't have known ahead of time to go and somehow try to transmit it in the vicinity there. And it was line of sight. Those dishes are very much line of sight. So anyway, there you go. There is my, I'm going to stop share, James. There's my presentation on how we know that the moon landings were definitely real and people were on the moon.
Amazing. Want to say, before we jump into that open dialogue, folks, thanks so much for watching here at Modern Day Debate. I forgot to mention, if it's your first time here, we are a neutral platform hosting debates on science, religion, and politics. My name is Dr. James Coons, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because if you can't watch DebateCon this coming weekend via the Final Word channel membership, all the debates will be uploaded to the channel, so hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. You'd be crazy not to, because you can watch the conference at some point once everything is uploaded. With that, we're going to go into the open dialogue, because I have a feeling Dr. R is not convinced. But maybe, Dr. R, have you changed your mind? What have you got?
Actually, I was wondering if MCToon had a reply to what I had presented.
Yes. All right. So, I mean, you're not going to not answer mine, of course, but, yeah. So, they were two drastically different, daytimes, right? So the photos from Surveyor 3 looked like they were taken where the sun was coming from above. There weren't any side to side shadows. The pictures from when Apollo 12 was there, the sun was shining from the side. And so specifically it was coming from the front of the foot. So the part where it was scraped was in shadow in that view there. So that explains it pretty well. The photo, like you said, is not well focused. Now, asserting that they knowingly did that, is pretty ridiculous, because you're saying it was done somewhere in a studio. So it wasn't the astronaut hastily doing something. They had all the time they needed, according to you, to set up the shot as necessary. So they didn't need to have the camera be out of focus. And I don't know if you know this, but there weren't a lot of options in the Apollo cameras for focus. So anyway, I'd like to see. It's unfortunate, you can't go back and make the lighting be different there.
Okay, so it's a lighting thing. All right, can I go to the next point then?
No, you gave your presentation.
Yeah, I presented one of the proofs of a hoax.
Did you notice that I went through all of my stuff?
Yeah, you did a couple proofs.
That's the format that has always been on this show. Every time you've been on the show, it's been the same format. At the beginning, you present, then the other person presents. Then we have a conversation based on the things that were presented already. You already did your presentation.
Well, there's tons and tons of evidence of a hoax. So
But
if you don't want to see them, if you're afraid of them,
why did you not do them at the appropriate
it would be a
time?
long show for me to present all of the evidences of a hoax.
Well, me too. I can go through hours and hours and hours of presentations of evidence that we did go to the moon. I chose just a couple as a convenience to James and the audience, because that's the format. I'm aware of the format. I read English just fine. I know what the format is. So, thank you for yours. What do you have to say to mine?
Okay, so regarding your two proofs of a landing, the first one is that you're basing it on several assumptions. One assumption is that the frame rate is 29.7 frames per second, which of course it wasn't. And you can't just take NASA's word for it. It's not science if it's based on other people's word.
I didn't take anybody's, I measured the frame rate myself.
Yeah, but you were told by NASA that it was filmed at 29% frames a second.
No,
You're taking that for granted.
No, the video that I have is 29 frames per second. I know that NASA did not transmit it at 29 frames per second, but the video that I have is at 29 frames per second. That's how I measured the number of frames. Because I went into I have the program called VLC. It's free to download. And then I put that video that I downloaded from the YouTube channel in VLC, and I went to media information, and it said frame rate 29.97. That's how I know.
Wow, so you're just taking the person who created the frame rate. Okay, anyway, so the second point is that, the second assumption.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
The second assumption is that this was being broadcast live, which it was not. It was being played back. And the third assumption is that this had to be filmed in a vacuum chamber. No, it didn't. The only thing they had to do was take a hammer and put lead inside of inside the middle of the feather. Put lead in the feather, it will drop the same as a hammer. You don't need to be in a vacuum chamber to have a feather drop the same as a hammer. So these assumptions are totally wrong. You don't know what the frame rate is. You don't know that it was broadcast live, and you don't know that it wasn't a weighted feather.
I do know that it was broadcast live because millions of people watched it live.
Okay. Billions of people saw it, so that means it was true.
No, that means it was broadcast live. Millions of people watched it live. That's how we know it was broadcast live.
You don't know what you were seeing, whether it was live or not.
But I did do analysis of it, and I did confirm that the gravity there was not Earth gravity.
The gravity is based on the frame rate.
You didn't
you're
address
assuming.
that. No, I didn't assume it. I didn't assume the frame rate.
rate.
I read the frame rate off the metadata in the video.
The metadata was created by NASA. You're just taking their word for it.
The metadata was created by the video editing program that digitized the video.
Yeah, which is NASA.
You don't understand. No, NASA didn't digitize the video that uploaded to YouTube.
All right, the next point is this.
No, you didn't address this.
Your point is so based on assumptions.
We timed how long it took. The frame rate is irrelevant. I know the source is not the source.
You can't calculate gravity without frame rate. It's the most important thing.
Yeah, here's what you could see. If you watch the 36 frames that I did, you can see that not every single of those 36 frames is the actual source video updating. The source video transmit live in which was 71, right? Was definitely not 30. It was slower. I think it was 11 or 15 or something. I don't remember the exact. So, but so you can see that, and you can see that 2 frames in a row don't move the hammer, and then it moves, and then 2 frames in a row it doesn't move, and then 1 frame and it moves, and then 2 frames and it doesn't move. Right? That's what when you move frame rates from one rate to another, it just keeps the same frames consistent. So the original, yes, definitely not 30 frames per second, but the source video that I have was 30 frames a second, and that tells us how long it took. And it took 1.2 seconds for it to fall. So then I sped it up to the rate that it would be on Earth, about double. And then played it, and we watched. And so this is what, I didn't take NASA's word for it. I played it at the rate that you would need it to be at for it to have been accelerating downward at the rate that was on the surface of the Earth. And then they look ridiculous. It's obviously not how they're walking around.
Okay, let me reply to that. So if you watch the NASA video carefully, what they did was they have it playing back at one speed, and just before he drops the hammer, they change the speed. So that way, yes, of course it will look ridiculous if you play the whole thing at the right speed. But if you see only the feather hammer drop, so this is actually very simple. They did this on.
Just a second. You don't trust NASA. I definitely don't trust you. So do you have proof of this, please?
Do I have proof of it?
You would need proof.
I just showed you that. Okay, so okay, so in what is this? The movie of Capricorn 1, and on that movie, he's jumping down from the ship, and the guys in the control theater, get ready, he's going to jump, slow down the film, and then they slow down. Of course, this is just but this is so easy for them to speed up and slow down wherever they want.
But okay, go ahead and prove it. Trust me, bro, isn't how these things work.
I already showed you proof that they faked it just from the foot pad, which you made the most stupid reply to.
No, you didn't. This is a different
tons
topic.
of proof of a hoax.
You are claiming that somehow magically you have information that they definitely changed the frame rate of the video. Prove it.
Yeah.
Without trust me, bro.
You either trust me or I trust you, and I'm not trusting you. You
Yeah,
have
I'm
a
not
group
asking-
of frames.
not
you
asking
have
you
a
to
group of
trust me.
frames. You have a group of frames, and you're telling me this is the rate it should be played back at. Oh yeah, I'm gonna trust you on that. Okay, good
Yeah,
job.
well, yeah, and I tested whether or not that's accurate, and by playing it at the frame rate that would be necessary for Earth gravity, and they bounce around ridiculously.
Yeah, that's the wrong part of the scene.
So now you are claiming that parts of it were played back at a different frame rate, and saying, "Trust me, bro." I don't trust you, bro.
Fine,
you
I
will
don't
need
trust
evidence
you
for
either.
that. I'm not
And
asking
neither
you
do
to
I trust your. And
you
neither
don't
do I.
need to trust me. Anybody can go do the analysis. I'm not making
That
any
analysis
claims
is
based on
based
my
on-
trust. But you are saying trust me, bro. So I
Fine.
need you to provide evidence that they did that. Did
Okay, I'll
somebody
show you another piece of evidence.
did somebody no? I'm not asking you for some other piece of evidence. I'm asking you to support your assertion that the frame rate was changed. So who did it? Who said they did that? Where was the write-up on that? Where's the evidence that this happened? Other than trust me, bro.
NASA's gonna admit they faked it in your face. The write-up. Give me a break.
You've made the claim. You now have the burden of proof to
You
support
made
your
the claim that they didn't adjust it. I know they adjusted it. I
You
know
know.
they adjusted it because the people
All
at
you
NASA told
have-
us.
Who told us?
The
And who's
people
us?
at NASA told us here
Who's
in
us?
China about
Who's
their
us?
plans. Us means the China Space Agency.
But you're not part of the Chinese Space Agency.
How do you know that?
You're not a part of the Chinese Space Agency. That's
Oh,
all.
I trust you, bro.
because
I trust
because
you.
you're just claiming it.
It doesn't matter what I claim. I'm just
show
saying,
your
you asked me
Chinese-
how I know. I'm telling you how I know.
Show your Chinese Space Agency ID.
There's plenty of evidence of a hoax.
Show your
and
Chinese
I know
space.
exactly. There's
Show
so
your
much
Chinese
evidence.
Space Agency ID.
I'm not an employee. I'm an assistant.
Oh, so you don't work for the Chinese Space Agency. You're not an
I'm not a
employee.
direct employee. No.
Got it. So when you say us, you're not talking about you. You're talking about
work-
somebody else.
I'm
you
working
you
with
aren't
them.
part of. No.
I work with them, not
you're
for
just-
them. I'm not an
okay.
agency, but I
so
work
so
with
you're not
them.
part of the us of Chinese Space
I am
Agency.
part of the us.
No, you're not an employee. You said you're
There's
not
a
an
difference between
employee.
us and an employee.
Yeah, you're not an employee.
Right.
You're at a university right now. You said you're
I'm
not
an
at
employee
you're not
at
at
a
the
university.
you're not at the Chinese Space Agency right
No,
now.
I'm not. I'm not at the Chinese Space Agency right now.
Well, why not? Since you are part
I
of the
work
Chinese
with
Space
them,
Agency.
not for them.
Oh, how do you work with them?
part-time, not
Oh,
full-time.
part-time, and how are you privy to this top secret information as a part-time non-employee?
This is a good time to go back to the moon landing per se.
Yeah, evidence-based. Okay. So what about the transmissions that were recorded in Kentucky?
Okay, great. So the transmissions recorded in Kentucky was very, very simple to pull off. So, can I share a screen with that picture? All right.
Sure can.
Let me come back. Sorry, Mike.
Oh, I think you muted yourself. Let me just double check you're not muted. Well, yeah.
I'm sorry, my school bell was ringing.
No
Let
problem.
me share again.
Ready for you.
Yeah. All right, so you can see that the command module had a FM signal of 2272.5 megahertz. And the SIVB had a FM signal of 2277.5 megahertz. So the way they faked the moon landing was the SIVB was the unmanned craft which they sent around the moon, which was transmitting at 2272. So the public thought they would tune into 2272 and tune into the command module, but actually they were tuning into the SIVP, which was just an unmanned craft circling the moon. The command module itself remained in low orbit the whole time.
So trust me, bro, they did go to the moon, and they did have something orbiting the moon at that time, and they did transmit something from the moon to the Earth that was pre-recorded, and they had sent to the moon already. And okay, trust me, bro, on that. So you got amazing.
Yep, there's tons of evidence of a hoax.
But there's no evidence for that. That's just you saying, trust me, bro. Versus the people
I
that
know
were
that
actually
they
there.
faked it, and I'm just telling you how they did it.
Now, the people that were actually there, that actually did it, and actually were involved and said, yeah, we actually were on the moon, and that's actually my voice there. Versus you, somebody that doesn't work for a space agency, but claims he has top secret information from a space agency. No, I don't trust you, bro. You're going to need to provide evidence that that is what they did.
Okay, so I'll show the next piece of evidence then.
You already presented your evidence. You already went through your presentation. How do you not know how these things work?
So you're afraid to see the next piece of evidence?
No, what happened is you have said as your refutation of real evidence, trust me, bro. That's all you've got. Both times. Trust me, bro.
And so have you. You've
I
given your
don't-
trust me, bro.
No, I haven't. I don't trust you, bro.
I don't
I've
trust
played-
your phrase per second. I don't trust anything you say.
I've played the actual audio recorded at Bochum Observatory, and you said, with no evidence, that nobody was up there, that they just sent an unmanned probe up there with no evidence.
Okay, so, I prepared 5 or 6 proofs of a hoax. If you're afraid to see them, I'll just have to say
Rasa,
bye-bye.
how many times have you been on this show?
It doesn't matter whether you want
How
to
many-
see them or not.
No,
That's
Rasa,
all I'm asking. If you don't want to
Rasa.
see them, I'm going to leave. Bye-bye.
Rasa, I
I'm
don't
not going
care.
to waste time.
I don't care if you leave. Rasa, how many times you've been on here? It's been the same format every time. How do you not know
Many
this?
times in the past, I presented evidence after evidence after evidence. Now you're just afraid to see them.
And every time you've been told, Rasa, why didn't you pay attention to the format? Are you a
Well,
child?
this is up to James. James, it's your call. If you want to see more evidence, I can present it. If you want to say the thing's over, it's over.
Sounds like MCToon, are you saying that you want to still discuss something else before he goes on to his next alleged evidence?
James, I think that you need to talk to him like a child and instruct him on the format that you told him beforehand. This time you didn't exchange emails, at least with me, but apparently he can't understand the format, and I don't know, maybe hold his hand. He needs help passing water, and somebody has to hold his tally water.
Are you saying that you like, okay, so maybe misunderstood. You're at a point where you're saying, well, no, I want to show my evidence right now and have him talk about, like, where we talk about that, because he's shown his stuff that he wanted to show, and now I want a chance.
Now, I don't have anything else. I followed your format, James.
Well, it's just open
I
dialogue.
presented everything that I had in my presentation time, right? And then the open dialogue is to discuss the things that we already presented.
Yeah, that
right?
is
That's
true.
the format.
That is the convention. So Dr. R, I think that MCToon is saying, like, you're bringing up new evidence. Is there anything that from Dr. R's opening has not yet been discussed that MCToon you'd like to discuss, or Dr. R you'd like to defend?
Yeah, I already said the lighting angle was different.
Dr. R, is there anything from your opening statement that you felt like, oh yeah, well, we could still talk about this, we haven't really covered this, or no?
No, I mean, to me, the whole lighting angle is the most ridiculous thing. Anybody can look at those pictures clearly and see the dirt is totally different. That's all I have to say. You go look for yourself. I gave you the reference numbers. Go look for yourself.
Well, we can jump into if you guys want, we can jump into the Q&A. But MCToon, if you want to humor him on his new stuff, he looks like he's got a new video or picture. But if MCToon, if you're like, hey, I want to discuss what was brought up in the openings, I could understand for sure if he brought it up in like a closing where you weren't able to respond. I'd be like, it would be very uncouth to bring in new evidence, but if you have the time. Otherwise, if you want, we can go to the Q&A, MCToon.
So James, I put a lot into this, right? I spent a lot of time preparing this, and I take it seriously. And his answer, of course, is "Trust me, bro" to my stuff. And I work hard to prepare it, to time it, to make sure it's going to fit into the time frame, right? Obviously, he doesn't give a damn about that. He doesn't respect you, James. But I think we can humor him. Maybe have him go on another thing. Obviously, he thinks he has a long list of things, and he just wants to go and ramble for hours and hours. But and how does he not know that it's not called dirt? Anyway, yeah, give him one more.
Okay, so it sounds like you are open to talking about something new that he wants to bring up. Unless I know that you said you put in a lot of work into for your opening of MCToon. If you want to take the lead on calling his attention to a specific topic that you brought up in your opening, that you're like, hey, I want to talk about this. This is what I prepared for. But I feel like you're just wanting to bring up something new. I want you to at least, like, why did I present my opening if we're just going to talk about new things you come up with on the fly during the open discussion? Is there something you wanted to talk more about, MCToon, from your opening?
No, I mean, he has made a bold assertion in response to my to the audio recordings with no evidence, which is, of course, the typical. When I say I ask for evidence, he just laughs like, "Huh, you think I have evidence? I think you don't have evidence. That's why you're wrong. You just have a faith-based belief system and no evidence for it." Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Let him do another.
All right, Dr. R. It sounds like MCToon is open to if you want to bring up something new. But it sounds like, frankly, he's saying he's open to it, but he's also kind of angry about it at the same time. So let's see if you can make him, even more angry. MCToon, I don't understand. Like, if we could just go to the Q&A, You should just say like I don't want to do it. We'll just go into the Q&A. It sounds like you don't want to hear his new stuff.
I'm anxious to hear what he has to say. I really am.
Okay.
And I was surprised when during his time to do his presentation, it was so short. Right? And now we come to find out once again, he's oblivious to the format that you have here on the show.
Okay.
But maybe next time, you could write it in crayon for him or something and mail it to him.
Dr. R laughs at your insults. Okay, let's see. We'll give it a chance. Dr. R, it sounds like MCToon's willing to entertain your new toy that you have. Whatever kind of footage. I am curious about the footage. What have you got here? Let us know.
Apologize then, I realized that I also spent a lot of months and years preparing for this, and I'm sorry I couldn't fit it all into one introduction statement, so my apologies. But anyway, I do have, there's a lot of them. If you just want one more, that's fine. It's just a video. Oh,
You got to tell us the point of the video, though.
Okay. So this is a clip from the original Spacecraft Films DVD, which shows the flag waving even though there's nobody around it. And this clip has been edited. NASA tried to hide the flag waving, but we can get the original film from Spacecraft Films DVDs. And so I just want to show you this flag waving even though there's nobody around, and explain how the official excuse they're giving is bogus. If that's okay. So you can see on the right-hand corner, top corner, you see the flag just blew onto the set. Okay. And it's kind of a waving there. And then it blows away. So now the official story is that there's some exhaust gases, but then it kind of blows back onto the set again, which cannot happen in a vacuum. It cannot be sucked back into the craft. So it's definitely moving with the wind here. And you can kind of see it moving towards, you can see it if you watch closely how it moves closer and further away from the screen. Now it blows off the screen again, and it's starting to blow back on again. There it goes, it blows back on. It's kind of waving around. And then it blows back off, and then it blows back on big time there, and then it blows back off again. All right, so this is not possible.
I think nobody. I don't know if it was just me. I don't know. I was so hard to see. Could you point to with your cursor, like what we were supposed to see? It was hard for me. I'm 72. I don't know how old you are. Like I can't see with these old eyes. Go ahead, tell me.
Here, can you see on the? Let me rewind it.
Yeah,
okay?
we can see your cursor. We can see your
Yeah,
cursor.
so just watch here in the upper right-hand corner.
Okay.
See the flag?
Yes.
Yes. There, and it blows on the stage, it blows off the stage 4 times. It blows on, blows off, blows on, blows off. Now the official story for this is that the LEM is emitting exhaust gases, and that the flag somehow falls back down due to gravity, but that is not possible, because if that was gravity, that would mean the resting place for the flag is on stage, and it blows off and gravity pulls it back down. But that's not it where it is. The resting place for the flag is off stage, and it's the wind that blows it on stage.
Okay.
So that's my second proof of a hoax.
MCToon, are you ready to throw in the towel?
No. So, obviously you edited that video.
There was, yeah, so there, I removed the gaps between a couple of there was some time between when it blew off and when it blew back on, and I moved those gaps.
So you're accusing NASA of editing, but you did the editing. Got it. All right, I was just kidding there. Your baseless assertion that no, NASA edited it is just as valid as me saying you edited the video to put the flag on and off yourself. You see, they're both baseless. But let's go to what you're actually saying. Let me make sure I get this clear. You're saying that they filmed this inside of a studio. Is that right? Okay. And in the studio, there's wind. Is that what you're saying?
Could be, sometimes.
Could be sometimes in a studio. Why is there wind in a studio?
I don't know, maybe they turned on a fan or something.
Well, why is there a fan on in the studio?
It's hot
What
in
studio
there.
has giant fans that they turn on?
Many film studios have fans. If it gets
Many
hot.
film studios, because it gets hot. Many film studios get hot and they have just giant fans that they turn on and off randomly. That's what you're saying. I just
Well,
want to
in
make
a
sure.
workplace, I used to work in a factory that had fans for the employees, you know.
But this is a studio. You're saying this is filmed in a giant studio, huge studio, and they're turning fans on and off randomly, and nobody's like, "Hey, don't turn that damn fan on, George. It's gonna make the flag wave." No, that's not how studios work, Rasa. Are you seriously? See, what kind of alien is in your head that causing you to think such a ridiculous thing? That there's a random fan on in a studio. Oh my gosh. So the official NASA story, you said, is that there's gas exhausting from the limb. And what's wrong with gas exhausting from the limb? If it's in zero air, near zero pressure, very low pressure, and it's held up by it's on a pole, and then the top of the pole has a rigid rod on it sticking out to hold the flag up, because on the moon there's no air, so it's holding up like this, and it's not paper like this, so it's not gonna sit there like this is, right? A fabric on the moon without a rod across the top is going to droop, right? So they got a rod across the top, and it's rigid, and it's rigidly connected to the vertical pole that is holding the flag up, right? So now air starts blowing, and it blows it like this temporarily, not air, gases, exhaust from the limb, and then it stops. And what happens when the gases stop blowing? It goes back to where it was before, because there's a rigid rod holding it there.
Sorry, that wouldn't work because that would mean if it blew it away, it would return after a certain amount of time. It basically comes back to the gravity excuse. This is not the original resting place is off screen. It cannot be blown towards the ship.
How do you know that the original resting place is off screen?
Because it's a 20-minute video and only a few minutes of it is on screen. The rest of the 20 minutes is off screen. That means the resting place is off screen, not on screen. If the resting place was on screen, then there would be 20 minutes with flag and then it blows off.
So the fan is your assertion the fan in the studio was on or off for the bulk of the 20 minutes? It's so
Off.
ridiculous saying it. Off. And so
It was
only
off.
when the fan is on is the flag on screen.
Right. Correct.
This fan in a studio that people don't actually do. They don't actually put giant fans in studios where there's dust. They're going to sprinkle dust around the place. And hey guys, here's an idea. I know. Let's turn a fan on so this dust all moves around. No. Wow. This it's just ridiculous how the ends that you go to.
Shall we see another one?
No, Q&A.
I'm afraid.
Pay attention to the format next time.
Well, this has been a juicy debate. We can always go to the Q&A. I mean, if you have, what do you guys? This is usually when we go to the Q&A, but we can do another one if you. But MCToon, if you're thinking like, no, this guy's just pulling stuff out of his butt, it's okay if we go to the Q&A.
In my head, it was a different word, but yeah, I think that's the one I would say.
Dr. R, look at Dr. R though. He just smiles at you, MCToon. Dr. R, it sounds like MCToon is probably like filled to the brim on.
So, I mean, to be fair, the other thing is how many minutes, James, is our presentation time?
Usually about 10 to 12.
10, yeah. And here's my notes from his presentation. He spent already in the opening about 10 minutes, and then he's gotten this. So he's definitely up to 15 minutes of presentation time. I tried to get mine within 10. So,
Well,
but I'd love to hear. PhD Tony is wondering for the source of the NASA explanation for the flag moving.
It's on the Spacecraft Films DVD booklet.
All right. So that was a joke. All right. What we're gonna do is go into the Q&A. Thank you for your questions, folks. We're gonna just start reading through them, and wanna say if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. As like I said, if you can't watch DebateCon 6 live this weekend, they will all eventually be uploaded to the channel free for the public. So good reason to hit that subscribe button. We're gonna jump into these. Now, as in terms of the lewd and lascivious ones, we're going to skip these. We do want to keep the actual questions on task.
They're my favorite.
Despite MCToon using his sock account to ask many lewd and lascivious questions, we're just going to, keep it on track.
My American Express is maxed out already.
That's right. Basil Problem says, Dr. R, what is your doctorate in? Where did you earn it from? I think he's skeptical.
Yeah, I'm a doctor of natural medicine from a university in America, but I'm working on my second degree now, second doctorate.
Second doctorate is impressive. He's like, hey, why not? 1 second, 2 seconds. I got to get the door. But this question, I'll ask this question first. Pable73 says, I bet several people in the chat believe that Abraham's descendants control the world. You are funny. Okay, that's weird. Let me get this to MCToon. You should include the quote Bart Sibrel footage of Apollo 11 faking their distance from Earth. Your next open, but that's none of my business. ... MCToon, what say you?
But who was that from? Oh, you walked away.
It is from Nominal.
Nominal. I don't know who that is. I don't know. I'm not familiar exactly with the Bart.
Sorry,
what you're talking
someone
about.
was at the door. Pardon
Who
my
was at the
interruption.
door? Was it Craig?
No, actually, Craig arrives tomorrow. It's Sean, my tech guy for the conference.
Oh. All right.
Emma-
I hung out with Craig on Friday and Saturday in Chicago.
Oh, that's cool. That makes me happy that you guys got to hang out. That's cool.
Yeah.
I am very grateful Craig can make it. It's going to be a great time. And if you see a person behind me, they're not going to murder me. It's just Sean. This one from Kang044 says, James, can I come on your channel, make a whole bunch of shit up, and we could call it a debate? Now, I know that you were disappointed with MCToon's opening, but that is no way to treat him, okay?
No, that's not what he's talking about.
This one from this Dr. R laughs. You look at him over there, self-satisfied. Basil Problem says, Zedzone, we got this one. They say, okay, it looks weird to me, quote unquote, signed by a squinty guy whom offers no comparisons. When are we, the audience, going to demand urine tests for our interlocutors? Dr. R, are you on some sort of drugs or drinking? Come on, none?
Only alien brain juice for me.
Wow. Dr. R laughs at your smart comments. Kang044 says, I currently work for Tony Stark and the Avengers, and they told me some secret stuff. Maybe I could make more shit up too and debate MCToon about it. Huh?
That's a good idea.
Dr. R, I think they think that you're making stuff up. Is there any truth to any of this?
I'm just providing evidence. You know, there's tons of it, but if you're afraid to see any more, then I'll just sit back and laugh.
Yeah, MCToon. Now, MCToon, that's not real tab. Do you just refill it with water every time?
Yeah, don't tell anybody though. It's just between you and me.
But if it is tab, I just want some. I could go for a sweet beverage right now. This one from Kano.
Tab is disgusting.
It is? I thought it just tastes like Coke.
Yeah, it's a low quality. It's basically Coke from Temu, which is you know where do you teach at Timo University, Rasa?
No.
No, it's the wrong university, dumbass. Okay, so this one from
I'm drinking Tang. You know, Tang is the juice of the astronauts.
Wow.
No, we just call it urine, juice of astronauts.
This one from Russian Spy says, Dr. Rasaviharii, I too have proof of the fake landing. The Minions movie clearly exhibits a scene of the Moon Studio setup.
Don't tell anybody.
Get owned, MCToon. All right. This one from Bless My Vibe Code says, Rasaviharii looks like the type of guy who'd be tweaking from sniffing paint around a playground in a white van. They don't know that you are as straight as an arrow. As you said, you never touched the stuff. This one from Basil Problem says, MCToon. Oh boy, Basil Problem throwing his hat into the ring.
Right.
I gotta warn you about this guy. He's a regular here.
I know Basil Problem.
Okay, he says, please provide the literature where debating kooks promotes science education.
There is none. That's easy.
Wow. I don't know, maybe let's see. So Basil harasses you too? Is it not just me?
He mostly, on my show, harasses either Craig or Will Duffy.
Oh, good.
But a little bit of harassing me.
It's not just me. Yeah, that's good. Basil, Richie
he's just
says,
a contrarian. Yeah.
Says, MCToon, the way you were acting makes me want to believe the moon landing was faked. Do better and stop complaining.
No, who is that?
Richie,
you definitely should believe the moon landing was faked. You're just the kind of guy for that.
Basil Problem says, modern day debate, do you think it is strange that Fight the Flat Earth only wears Fred Perry? I don't know if Fred Perry, that's like a clothing thing?
It is a type of clothing, apparently.
Wow.
I basically just wear t-shirts. Like this one here. Have you seen this? It says, "You're not stupid. Dearth is stupid."
Wow.
There you go.
Dr. R, are you a fan? No.
He's wearing a sweatshirt.
He does not approve.
His sweatshirt says Chinese Space Agency part-time contractor.
Let's see. This one, I think that's it. I think we got one more that just came in. Premonition News 59 says Mr. Great Grandfather gave the method to exactly measure distance from E to
Earth
M.
to moon. Earth to moon.
Earth to moon, thank you. Okay, they say mirror placed on moon refracts light for exact distance. I watched live 1969. Dr. R, now I forgot, you've moved up from Brother Rasaviharii to Dr. Rasaviharii. I remember the old days when it was brother, but what do you say to this?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. What? Can you repeat it?
I don't know if you disagree with this, because you believe the
Yeah.
moon exists, and you probably
Yeah,
believe it's the same distance. You just don't think we landed on it, right?
No, he actually thinks that only automated systems landed on it and that people didn't, because Rasa thinks that there's some sort of radiation on the moon that isn't conducive to human life for some reason. An unknown radiation.
It's very well known, really.
What type of radiation?
There's three kinds of space radiation.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, I don't think we're gonna.
What are they? What are they?
You have the normal EMF radiation, then you have solar particle events, and then you have the cosmic rays.
Okay.
Wow. And the moon has
All right.
which one? Or does it have all three?
Okay, so on the Earth, we are protected from parts of the electromagnetic radiation. We're partially, so we have the Van Allen belts and we have the atmosphere. So when the galactic particles come in, some of it will be deflected due to the magnetational fields around the Earth. Some of it, so like for example, if you're on the space station, you don't have the atmosphere to protect you. But if you go beyond the Van Allen belts, then you don't have the Van Allen belts to protect you either.
But what does
So the higher up you...
Pardon my interruption. But what does the moon have?
None of that.
It does. Wait, it doesn't have any of the
What
three
what
types
type
of radiation?
Yeah.
I already told you, there's three types of radiation, and the moon has neither an atmosphere nor Van Allen belts to protect it. So on the moon, you're unprotected. We can see this from...
Except for the suits, of course.
the suits.
Right?
Suits.
So what types of particles are you talking about?
There's all different kinds of particles. Galactic rays come in all different shapes and
Okay.
sizes.
What kind? Yeah, but what kind of particles are they in general?
In general. So, we know for a fact that we're going to have to build some better radiation protection if we're actually going
You're
to send
avoiding the answer here, Rasa. What type of particles?
I already told you there's all different types of particles. They come in.
Awesome. Start listing a few. Go ahead.
Wait. So wait.
You want me to pull up some
Doctor? All right.
You don't know. You don't know, right? You don't know what types.
I
There's
know. I already told
subatomic
you the
particles.
types.
Name the subatomic particles.
There's protons, neutrons, electrons.
There you go. Okay. All right. Are they protons?
They come in all different shapes and sizes.
Okay. What kind of material will block a proton?
What kind of material will block a proton? So there's different types of material you can use for shielding, and some different types of material will shield some particles, and other types of material protect from other particles, but the heavier stuff, like the galactic cosmic particles, cannot be protected by any of that. In
But
fact,
what are the-
most of the,
Okay, but the galactic particles are what type of subatomic particles?
they come in all different shapes and sizes, and so this is why they're talking about building shelters on the
Okay,
moon, you know,
you
burying
didn't
down.
specify them, Ross. It
It
sounds to me
doesn't,
like
they
you
come
don't
in all
know.
different shapes and sizes. I already told you.
You can't name them.
I can name them. They come in
Then-
all different
then
shapes and sizes.
begin.
From
Begin
A to
naming
Z.
them.
You look at
Okay,
the
go ahead.
periodic table of elements, and they
Okay.
come in all different shapes and sizes.
So full atoms,
It can be. They're
singular
they're coming-
elements.
They're coming from supernovas millions of light years away. They come all different shapes and sizes. They hit
All
us
different-
here on Earth, but here on Earth we're much better protected.
It sounds to me like you don't know.
It sounds to be like you don't want to know.
You didn't tell me. I want to know. You're not telling me. Go ahead.
Dude, you know,
are-
I know
are-
for a fact.
Are
You-
they alpha particles? What are alpha particles made of?
All different kinds of shapes and sizes.
What are alpha particles made of?
You know, I think you're just, you know, your tactics here.
What are
questionable.
alpha particles made of?
No, I'm not playing.
You
your
don't
games.
know. You don't
I
know what alpha
I don't
particles
care
are made
whether
of.
you believe me or not. I'm not.
This-
It's all about
If
the
you
moon
knew,
landing.
you would
Your
just say
attempts-
what alpha particles were made of.
Your attempts to discredit me just prove that you're afraid of the material I'm trying to present here.
You don't know what alpha particles are made of.
You can't answer any of my questions, and you're afraid to see them.
Yeah, Melvin. Now
You don't know. All you said is what this makes it very clear, everybody, to the audience, that the radiation on the moon, he has no idea what it is, because when he just says different shapes and sizes, and I say start listing them, he says protons, neutrons, but it's not neutrons, because neutrons from distant stuff have already decayed. Neutrons are unstable. They have a short half-life. So we're not getting neutrons hitting us from galactic sources. He doesn't know this, though.
Be neutrons along with protons.
But it's not neutrons, because neutrons alone have a short half-life. They wouldn't have traveled
All different
from a
shapes and
distance.
sizes.
But not neutrons.
You're wrong. Neutrons also can.
They're not solo neutrons.
Trust you, bro.
No, not trust me. Trust the half-life of a neutron that's been empirically measured. You don't know
All
that,
the
though.
shapes and sizes.
Start
I
naming
can
them.
show
Go
you.
ahead.
I can show you the documents, NASA documents. It shows that all the different shapes and sizes.
And you can't name any other than proton, and you also don't know what alpha particles are.
well,
If that's what you want to believe, if you want to believe I'm just a liar and making things up, you believe that. I don't care whether you believe me or
Yeah.
not. You know?
Prove me right by not saying what alpha particles are.
this is probably a good time to go to the next question. Let's see if there are any.
Help him, James. He's in trouble.
Dr. R laughs at your comment. What we can do is, I do think we're actually to the end of the questions. I have a question just out of curiosity. No, I can't. Okay, but I'm gonna let these guys go. We've already been here. It's been about an hour and a half. They're busy. They've got a lot to get done. So I do want to let these guys get to other stuff. We want to say thank you very much for our guests. Folks, if you had not noticed, at the bottom right of your screen, you see a banner, and it says, in case you can't read, watch DebateCon 6 live from home by joining the Final Word channel membership. If you average it out, we have 7 stage debates. That's $2.14 a debate to watch it live. And I can tell you, these debates are going to blow your doors off. We're going to jump into, do you guys have any concluding thoughts? Maybe do you want to take a couple of minutes to have your final thoughts, as they would on Jerry Springer. What is that? What they called it? The final thoughts, or I can't remember what the final segment.
I didn't watch it as much as you did. Yeah.
I was an addict. But any thoughts, gentlemen?
Well, you gotta say who starts.
Dr. R?
Well, like I said, I could keep on presenting evidence after evidence, but yeah, hopefully we'll see you again. If you would like to see more, I can present more.
Okay.
All right.
Well, it sounds like MCToon is finally given up. He's finally he's conceding. So that was good. But want to say thanks for real acting more seriously for a second, as I've been teasing MCToon a lot. Thank you to our guests. They make this show fun. And what we'll do is we're gonna jump into the. I'll be back in just a moment with updates on.
I get my closing.
Oh yes. Go ahead.
You totally skipped my closing, James.
It was. I'm just tired. It's been a long day.
I know you're so tired. Anyway, James, thanks. It's always fun. Rasa is fun. I like sparring with you. And I'd certainly be up for a rematch. But next time, put together 10 minutes, practice it, do something. You get your time slot. Put that at the beginning. Then we have the conversation based on the things you already presented. That's the format. That's what I did. Anyway, James, next one. Let's in person. I'm ready. You let me know. I'll be there. Put me on the stage.
That sounds fun, because no joke, we might actually switch to. We've veered away from political topics, but I am kind of starting to think like we might go back to like more religion and science topics. Because just as of late, we were doing more political topics, but I've been looking at them and I'm like, I just feel like our audience isn't as engaged with those. So we might start going in that direction. So it's a possibility. Want to say thanks, folks, for watching. What?
We were talking about fans for a while, and Angel Gamer's wondering about fans, specifically James, and do you have any fans that are only fans?
Oh, that's funny.
Asking for Angel Gamer.
That's your one sick puppy, MCToon. I think
it's not me. It's Angel Gamer. Blame her.
Asking for a friend, right? I do not have an OnlyFans. However, Dr. R, you may be surprised to learn, also doesn't. But yeah, so that we're gonna say Dr. R's OnlyFans. Check his link out for his OnlyFans in the description box. No, don't click it. It's not real. But yeah, I'll be back in a moment. Thanks for watching, folks. Amazing. Thanks so much for being here. Let me see if I can change this. Okay. I've got it. I know how to do this. Folks, thank you for watching. And let me do this. We're going to do a little, there we go. We're going to go to the old share screen. We're going to change this up to zoom.meeting. And now, there we go. Thank you for your patience. Wow. Thank you for watching, friends. Thank you, guys. It's always fun. We have DebateCon this weekend. If you don't think you have plans this weekend, you're gravely mistaken. You do have plans. So if you're near Nashville, come out, watch it live and in person. You won't regret it, because it's going to be a fun time. And if you are far away, or you're like, hey, I can't travel out there, I'd love to watch it, consider joining the Final Word membership here at the YouTube channel. All of the debates will be released eventually for the public on this channel. But at the same time, a lot of people are like, well, if I want to watch it live, one way of helping support the event is if you become a Final Word member. You can watch it live as well, and we do appreciate that support, as that does help us make these events possible, because they are very expensive. So right now we are, as an example, we always count on the YouTube revenue from, let's say, for example, views, like ad revenue and memberships. We always count on that to get us from being in the red, where basically we're losing money on the event, to the green, where it's like, oh, okay, we made a few bucks off it. Is we always rely on YouTube for that. But right now, yeah, we're really relying on YouTube for that, because like we went big on this conference. So we do appreciate your guys' support. It helps us put on those big projects. But yes, and someone said your eyes look different today. Let's see. They are different. I don't know how they're different, but they probably look tired. I'm pretty sleepy right now, to be honest. I'm like exhausted. I flew out this morning from Las Vegas to Nashville. So I'm in Nashville right now, and I'm excited. And at the same time, I'm very excited to go to sleep shortly, because we've just got a lot of work to do tomorrow. But we will see you at DebateCon 6. There's one last debate tomorrow during the day. It'll be at 2 p.m. Central, so 3 p.m. Eastern. It's a special debate, and that'll be a kind of a short and sweet one. And then DebateCon this weekend. So we'll see you there. Thanks for your support. Love you guys. Keep sifting out the reasonable from the unreasonable, and we'll see you at the next one.